Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, just depending on when you may be watching. My name is Krista Scott, and I'm excited to be one of many folks to welcome you to VCU. During our time together today, we're going to talk a little bit about the College of Humanities and Sciences, or CHS, as you prepare for your transition to campus. Under the leadership of Dean Jennifer Mallett, myself and members of the Office of Student Services team are really going to be a part of that village that provides support from whenever a student discovers one of our majors all the way to graduation and beyond. So a couple of things that we want to share that you can expect from us. First things first, we're here to support you. We're committed to your safety. That's intellectual safety, physical safety, emotional safety. We really want to be a part of that community of people that are providing that support and care for you. We will provide opportunities for long-term success. So as important as it is to make sure that you're finding your academic success while you're with us on campus, we really are committed to helping you discover what will give you passion and energy and help be sustaining for you in the career that you choose beyond your time with us. We want to challenge you to think and grow. So sometimes that challenge can feel difficult, but the goal is for you to really be able to stretch yourself intellectually and otherwise. And finally, we want to be here for you both when you're at the university and when you're in your career that you've chosen. So who are we? First things first, when you hear about the College of Humanities and Sciences, you might hear us referred to as CHS or HNS. We love an acronym at VCU. So if you hear us referred to in a different way, that simply means the college that houses your major. So if you think about the larger university itself is everything. That's all of the students, all of the academic programs, the research centers, everything connected to VCU. Within the larger university, we have colleges and schools that house the different majors, typically organized based on the major interest. And so the College of Humanities and Sciences is the largest academic unit at VCU and really is the foundation of educational and intellectual life at the university. So regardless of a major that a student might choose, you're still going to be taking some classes with us because we house lots of those really key disciplines that are important regardless of your major. So we are home to more than 60% of undergraduate students at the university. The really important thing for us that we're very, very proud of is that our students and scholars are answering those big questions facing our society and our world. So they're really thinking about what are those key issues that we must address. So that could be related to human life biologically, or it could be related to social justice, lots of those really key questions. We offer a comprehensive selection of majors, so our students are really able through the majors, their minors, the individual classes they take, to get a really specialized set of skills, and we'll discuss that a bit throughout our time together today, to prepare them both for opportunities that exist today and even for jobs and goals that might not even exist right now. So we're really preparing students both for the things that are happening right now and the things that will be happening in the future. Something that underscores all of our work in the college is our commitment to equity, inclusion, and diversity. So having that commitment allows us to create both a welcoming and affirming environment for the students, staff, and faculty that call CHS and VCU home. It allows us to create a place that is better to work, to teach, and to learn, and to engage in research, both on our campus and then throughout our local community. And finally, we are really committed to increasing equity for folks that have been underrepresented, underserved, through higher education, again, both on the student, staff, and faculty side. So we like to point that out early in our conversations with students and families, just to let you know that that's something that really underpins all of the work that we do. So what do we want to do with your time with us at VCU and in the college? We really want you to be able to gain the skills that you need to reach your dreams, whatever that dream might be. It could be medical school, it could be going into work for the Peace Corps, it could be becoming an academic and working in higher education. We really want you to be able to have all of the skills that you need to be able to do that. And we provide both the dedicated staff and committed faculty that can help you get there. So we sort of do that in two different ways. First, we aim to be flexible and responsive. So the goal is for you to be able to make the most of your educational experience through high impact academic experiences. And we'll talk about that throughout our time. And on the other side, we want to be innovative and forward focused. So like I mentioned a second ago, some of what we know our students will be doing are things that don't even exist yet. We know that you will be solving problems that we have not yet identified, using technology that hasn't been invented. And it's really important for us to be reflexive and responsive to the evolving needs of both the students that are with us and the industries that they'll be entering. So our faculty and students are both able to really be present and attentive to what they need to learn for today, but to build those skills so that you can be competitive for tomorrow. That also includes supporting the needs of diverse learners. So we have students that use lots of different resources and services to keep them successful during their time at VCU that you're likely hearing about with us at orientation and will hear as you transition to campus. What sets our students and their experience apart? So there's a couple of different things that we like to point out, and we'll start off with that extracurricular engagement. So there's going to be both opportunities within the college and within the major that you've chosen, outside of your major, and even outside of the college. We know that students who are engaged on campus through leadership experiences, research, whatever different way that might be most related to your interest, tend to have higher GPAs and report more satisfaction in their experience. So our goal is to make those experiences available to every single VCU student who is interested. And I mentioned this a second ago, talking about developing a toolkit. One really great thing about the majors in our college is not just that you're building a vocational skill set, right? So I'm not specifically learning how to do job A or job B. I'm really building a set of tools that are adaptable in lots of different educational or professional environments that will be beneficial to me. So the goal for us is to have a curriculum that both allows students to be adaptive to current and future opportunities. So the job that's here now, the job that will exist in a decade or 2 decades, but to really build those leadership skills, time management skills, all of those other really important skill sets that are key to being able to be a successful professional. And finally, we really want students to be able to expand their global or world perspective. So we want to know that our students are being prepared to enter an increasingly global professional graduate environment. And so it's really important that not only are you prepared to address issues that are relevant in our local community, but you're really able to think about the different things that you're learning in a global context. So I alluded to different experiences within majors and programs like our annual political science undergraduate research symposium that allows students to highlight and showcase the research that they've engaged in over that year, or Robertson School's Create-a-thon that offers pro bono services to different nonprofit organizations in the community. But I get really excited talking about what our students have been able to accomplish during their time with us. Like a biology student who studied abroad in Fiji, taking biology courses and even learning how to scuba dive. That was really exciting because he actually saved money during the semester because the cost of living was lower. Or our sociology students who are participating in a service learning course connected to the East End Cemetery Cleanup and Restoration Project. This is exciting because this project is part of a catalog, documentation, and research process to look into the African Americans from the Richmond community, often buried in the late 1800s, and really to explore their life and to add to the story that sometimes has been untold. Or a political science student that participated in the Asia Pacific Innovation Academy, or APIA, which is a 4-week program that really focuses around entrepreneurship and innovation housed in China. So for students that are thinking about starting their own businesses, that might be something interesting to you. What about the science major that participated in a behavioral genetics research study and after graduation actually got a job with the National Institute of Health? Or even an English major who wrote and published their own short stories in an anthology of Richmond writers, and that student's now teaching English in Korea. So the question that I ask you, and we hope that there's lots of opportunities for us to meet and ask, is what do you want to do? Not just what do you want to major in, not just what's the job that you want to have, what are the experiences that feel important to you to have during your time at VCU? And hopefully over the remainder of our time together, we can talk a little bit about some of the ways that you can get connected to those high impact, important experiences. Much as we love having you as a part of our CHS family and as a part of the Ramily, our goal is to get you out, right? The goal is to get you to graduation and beyond and prepare you for next steps. There's lots of different tools that we utilize, and one that we like to highlight is our major maps. So our major maps, and the website is listed right on the screen, are our opportunities to give recommendations about different opportunities based on both your major and what might be your career interests. So the goal is for you to maximize your time at VCU by strategically planning your experiences. So for many students, especially if I'm a transfer student or if I already got credit from high school, I might really be thinking, I only have X amount of time, how can I make the most of it? And that's part of what these major maps allow us to do. So they allow us to build an individualized success plan for you to reach your full goal. Let's talk key pillars. So first, the major maps are designed to maximize your course and degree planning. So making sure you're taking the right courses and the right sequence to meet your graduation and career goals, especially if you were hoping to go into graduate school. Next, we hope to get you connected with the community. So we want you to be able to explore all of the different ways for you to connect to VCU locally, and then thinking about regional and national involvement, particularly as it relates to your major or industry. We want you to be able to build cultural competence. So we want you to be able to contextualize and globalize your skills so that you can be able to work across communities and with folks that are different from you and similar to you. And finally, we want you to make this experience as real as possible. So when we talk about real at VCU, we're referring to experiential learning opportunities for students. And so the goal is that every single student will have the opportunity to engage in a hands-on academic experience directly relevant to both your major and your interest. That could be service learning or study abroad or internships or even research. Most majors have that built into their curriculum, but for some students, you might be looking for experiences above and beyond what is required for your major. So part of what we want you to do through that major map is plan out when those experiences will take place. Again, the goal is to get you ready for life after your time with us. As we begin to discuss policies in CHS, we want to first note that our college is large and our requirements vary based on the department that you might be housed within. There's no way for us to cover everything during our time together today. So we encourage you to connect with folks in your department to make sure you're abreast on the things that are specific to your major. We also want to note, we're saying this now, but we'll say it more than once, stay abreast of the academic calendar. So make sure that you're aware of deadlines and dates. Sometimes things can change, and we definitely saw that over the course of the past year. So there are a couple of points that we want to spend a little bit of time on, and you'll note that those are highlighted here. So we're going to take a few moments to talk specifically on some of these frequently asked questions related to CHS policies. If you find yourself in a situation where you need to make adjustments to your schedule, you will likely either be looking to drop or withdraw from a class. If it's a class that you've registered for and decided not to take, you've not done any work, then that would be a class where you would like to drop. It is important that you do this through e-services. You will not be automatically dropped even if you've never taken the class or you've never done any of the coursework if you're registered. You will receive a full refund if you drop within add drop or the first week of classes for fall or spring, so make sure that you're staying on top of those dates. And if it's a class where you've started taking some of the course and it's not, for whatever reason, you're like, I don't want to finish this class all the way through, then you would be looking to withdraw. First, you must know that deadline. So when it talks about that academic calendar, make sure you've checked the calendar to see the last date to withdraw. We encourage you to meet with your academic advisor. Since you've taken some of the course, you would still be financially responsible for that class through tuition, but you want to talk about, like, will this take me off track for graduation? What will be the long-term implications of this choice? So make sure that you meet with your advisor to see if there might be any sort of difficulties that will be a result of you withdrawing from a course. We are often asked if CHS students are required to complete a foreign language for their major. The answer is yes, through at least a 102 level. In some cases, in some majors, you will have a more rigorous or higher level of language required. You might have already satisfied this requirement either through your high school coursework or as a native speaker or a community college coursework. So you're able to look and see if you've already completed that or touch base with your advisor. You will need to take a placement test if you wish to take a foreign language class that starts above the 101 level. So just something to keep in mind. A common question that we receive is, are there scholarships available specific to the college? The answer is yes. We do have over 100 scholarships totaling more than $300,000 available for students. Some are going to be major or discipline specific. Some are really going to be project based. So it'll vary based on the actual award that you're considering. So if you would like to be evaluated for scholarship, first you'll need to identify people to serve as your references, and you'll be able to indicate them. You'll log into our scholarship portal with your VCU credentials and complete the general scholarship application. After that, you'll complete some additional information that's specific to the college. You'll be able to share the information on your references because based on the award, we will be contacting those folks for more information. And then you'll be able to see what are the recommended scholarships for you. You can submit as many as you want. So if there's 10 listed, you can submit scholarship applications for all 10. And then you'll just keep an eye out for awards. So something to keep in mind. We do also have specific dollars set aside for experiential learning. So if you're looking to do research or attend a conference, through our Baldacci, Student Experiential Learning Endowed Fund, a bit of a mouthful, you would have the opportunity to apply for funds specific to those sorts of high impact experiences. So an absolutely essential member of your team has been mentioned several times. I've talked a bit about advisors. So these are the professional staff who provide that really you or student-centered insight and direction about your academic, professional, and personal goals. So they are able to provide guidance and direction as you're navigating your time at VCU. So we want to talk a little bit about what this person actually can do for you. So who is your advisor? First of all, they're formally educated. So a master's degree often in either the discipline that you might be studying or in higher education to really study how you support students. They're available to meet with you, and this is key. We encourage you to meet with your advisor at least once a semester just to make sure that you're on track for graduation or the different things that you've identified through your major maps. These folks are bound by FERPA, or the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, which basically says that they must protect your academic information. So just know that the conversations that you have, unless you've signed a disclosure statement, really are between you and your advisor. They are knowledgeable about what's next. So this is a really great place to start conversations about what could I do with this degree? What could I do with my interest? And finally, I like to think of them, and myself even, as referral agents. So they're not always the person that might answer your question, but they tend to be very clued into the institution and can point you in the direction of people that can be helpful to address whatever your needs may be. Just as important as understanding what your advisor can and might do is understanding what they might not be appropriate to do. First thing, they are not all knowing. They know a ton and can refer you appropriately, but they are not the keeper of all knowledge. One other piece of that is that they are not the same as like a high school guidance counselor. So a lot of times your high school guidance counselor offers more directive information. So this is what you must do. This is the meeting that you have to schedule. Your advisor at the college level tends to expect the student to take the lead. So they are part of your team, but you are really guiding the show. You're leading the ship. So you're establishing meetings and guiding that relationship. They're not financial aid professionals, so that tends to be the biggest area where students might have questions that need to be referred, because there might be financial aid implications related to your academic decisions. They won't necessarily be the best person to answer those questions, and they will refer you when needed. They can't make decisions for you, so they can provide guidance, they can provide advice, but ultimately you must make that choice for yourself. They aren't your tutor or your academic coach. So especially if you're finding yourself struggling academically, they're going to get you to the folks that can help, but they're probably not going to be that specific person. And this is key, especially in the really busy times of the year. They are not available 24/7. So our advisors tend to have lots of students that they're supporting. And it's important for you to keep in mind that the earlier you can make scheduled meetings, or as soon as you acknowledge or recognize a problem, get on their calendar, the better. So now we know who advisors are. Your experience with advising will be different depending on what type of student you are. So if you are a first-year student, maybe you're coming straight out of high school, you've never taken college courses, you are going to be pre-registered for your courses over the summer and receive group advising in July. So in July, you will be receiving your group advising to get your schedule for fall semester. You will be contacted via email. So if you're not already in the habit of checking your email, start to get into that habit via Navigate. On August 1st, all first-year students are assigned their primary advisor that will be housed in University Academic Advising, or UAA. These advisors are great because they're generalists, and that means that they know a lot about a lot of different majors. So they're able to help transition you to college, but also can talk about different majors as you're figuring out what might be the best fit for you. Some students will also have more than one advisor. So maybe you have a second major, maybe you're a student athlete, maybe you're an honors student. So you will likely, again, we talk about that team. I say team a lot because there's lots of folks that are really invested in your academic success. When you get into your second year, you are assigned a primary advisor in your major. So at that point, you're really going to have somebody that's specific to the major that you've chosen. And that's where you can get into the detail of your long-term academic and professional plans. If you're a transfer student, you will receive a primary advisor in your major from the beginning. Just like those first-year students, you may have more than one advisor if you're a student athlete or in some other population. We encourage transfer students to meet with their advisor at least once a semester. You might have already done that. So you might have already connected with your advisor by the time you're listening to this. But if you haven't, you can use the Navigate system to schedule an appointment with your advisor. Going forward, you're able to schedule all of your appointments in Navigate, and that's the way that you can meet with that advisor as often as you might need. We have covered a lot of information really quickly. So my final things to just leave you with: first thing first, check your email. If you're not in the habit of checking your email frequently, I would encourage you to do that. As much as you can receive a lot of it, that just tends to be the language of communication of institutions. Get to know your advisor. So find out who they are, connect with them, think about what your questions might be to them. Make sure that you both know deadlines and are staying on top of them. So if you are a calendar user, add things to your calendars at the start of the term. Make sure that you know the basic requirements for graduation and check your status. Ultimately, you are going to be responsible for getting yourself to the finish line with lots of support for the people around you. So if at any point there's an issue, you want to alert the relevant folks. And finally, make your journey real. Take advantage of those hands-on learning experiences. explore the major that you've chosen, get experience related to the industry that you're interested in or the job that you want to make sure that that's going to be the right fit for you. I'm glad you've made it this far. I've said it at the beginning, but I'm going to say it again. Welcome to the Ramily. We are so excited to get to know you, to be a part of your academic journey. If you have questions, there is going to be an email that pops up on the screen. Feel free to shoot us an email between now and the start of the semester. We can't wait to see the incredible things that you'll accomplish, and we'll see you and meet you in person soon.